Hi and welcome to this quick how to help video on solving simultaneous equations where one is linear and one is quadratic. And what I've done is graphed the solution. So if I was to graph this linear, it would look like the red one. And the quadratic is obviously my smiley face. And you can see clearly from the graph that they cut and cross each other in two places. And this is what makes them different to simultaneous linear equations, where you've got your two straight lines just crossing it in that one point. So we've got a little bit more going on due to the quadratic. And this is how we can do these questions. The first thing I want to do is eliminate one of the variables, just like I do in normal simultaneous equations, but I have to do this in a slightly different way. So I'm going to rearrange in order for both of my equations to show y equals or x equals, depending on the types of questions that I've got. But for this one, because this one's already set up saying y equals this, then it makes sense for this one to do the same. So all I'm going to do is rearrange this, and it's going to be y equals 5 minus x. And then what I'm going to be doing is I'm going to say, well, I've got a y equaling x squared minus 3x minus 30. I've also got a y equaling 5 minus x. Those are my facts. I've got a y that equals this, and I've got a y that equals this. Now, y equals y. So these two different expressions can equal each other because they are both y. Once I've done that, I've basically written myself an equation. There it is. In terms of x, y is no longer in this equation. I can solve for x. Now, it's a quadratic. I can see that with the power 2 here at the beginning. In order to solve a quadratic, it needs to equal 0. So all of this now has to be rearranged back over here. So we end up with x squared minus 2x minus 35 equaling 0. Okay, when that 5 went across, it landed as minus 5, minus 30 minus 5 is minus 35. And this landed as positive x. Minus 3 plus an x is minus 2x. So that's where those numbers came from. I'm then just going to factorize. So I've got neg pos, working on that 35, 7 times 5. Make sure you're clocking the sign here. I want to make negative 2, not positive 2. So it's going to be 7 in there, 5 in there. So x is going to equal 7. And x is going to equal minus 5. So those are my x values. To find my y values, I am going to substitute these in to one of the equations. Now, those were my original equations. It makes no sense at all to choose the hardest looking one. So we're going to choose this nice, easy one. And I've got 2 values of x to go in. So I'm actually just going to write it twice. So I've got x plus y equaling 5, x plus y equaling 5. And then obviously my x is going to change to 7 in one of the equations and to minus 5 in the other. This gives me y equaling minus 2. 7 minus 2 is equal to 5. And y equal to 10 over here. So the way that I've got everything now, I've got my x and my y values. The way that I would represent this as an answer on an exam question or in a textbook is that when x equals 7, y equals minus 2, keep them in their pairs. I really like that to be added in as well. The reason that I like that to be added in as well is because it keeps us conscious of the fact that this can be graphed. This can be something that graphed they do represent a crossing point. They are coordinates as well. And it's nice not to lose sight of that because they are the same sort of things going on. So over here, when my x was equal to -5, my y was equal to 10, giving me the coordinate -5, 10. And that's it. So you set so that they both are y equals or x equals, depending again on the question, and then you work through. You will be working with quadratics, so those skills in factorizing are key. So if that's an area that needs some additional work, then you should do that first before you go on and have a go at that. But hopefully you have found this quick how to help video useful. There's another one that's going to come up after this one because they're in the same playlist, which is going to look at when you have a straight line going through a circle equation rather than a quadratic equation. All right, thank you for taking the time to watch this Target Maths video, and we'll see you next time.